How's it going, Jackson Jills? I'm building Trickster. What I found out after looking at what changes they're going to be coming out with in the expansion coming out. Why are my glasses freaking out? Green screen, from the looks of it. They're making it more balanced in the sense that you can truly build your character any way and it'll still be optimal, minus building like pure tankiness, because that's never gonna be a popular or smart decision. But for a while now, it's always made more sense to go full firepower, right? Whatever the top tree is. Personally, I actually like the bottom tree more. In fact, I beat the game using the bottom tree. So then I switched over to the top tree. I started using shotguns because Trickster, right here, as a Trickster, each enemy killed in close range heals you and grants a portion of shield. So to suit this playstyle of being close range better, I switched to the shotgun route. And the damage it does was insane. I am never looking back. I'm never going to switch back until Worldslayer comes out, because it's just, it synergizes too well with what Trickster's all about. However, once Worldslayer is out, you can actually build the bottom tree, and it'll be pretty good because the new class tree that they're coming out with heavily favors hybrid and anomaly power builds on Trickster. On other classes it might be a bit different, but on Trickster it definitely looks like building anomaly and hybrid builds are going to be way more predominant. If you're going to go firepower shotgun build, this is where how you want to build it. This is perfect. There's literally nothing in here you ever have to change, except maybe swapping bounty hunter for transfusion. If you are using a weapon that doesn't have light weapon leech, transfusion's kind of a must-have. Otherwise, bounty hunter. Hi guys, it's from the future. Since creating a world record 1 video, I have changed my build a little bit, and I've opted to get rid of the cooldown reduction stuff that's in the class tree, obviously the top branch. So I got rid of the cooldown stuff there. I kept the deception one, I got rid of the 2 movement ones, and in their place I got more armor penetration. The reason I did this is because my mods changed a bit. So mod wise, I am now running and another one, which is a tier 3 mod that lets any enemy that you shoot affected by time rift refunds the bullets that actually land on them. So I basically have 2 skills that let me get free rounds on my twisted round shotgun. With that said, I don't need cooldown for Hunt the Prey that badly, so I opted for a more damaging route. I got armor penetration, and it's just been melting elites like crazy. So hope that helps if you're a firepower Trickster. Nothing new for anomaly builds. And back to the video. Because I use the Death Shield, it has weapon leech. I use Voodoo Matchmaker, it has weapon life leech. I use Bolt and Thunder, it has weapon life leech. So I'm all set on weapon life leech. I don't need to bother with transfusion. I grabbed bounty hunter. Everything else about this build is ideal for firepower shotgun Trickster. Now, what if you wanted to build assault rifle or LMG builds, which are, don't get me wrong, they're actually very viable right now even. Particularly LMG. Like if you went pure anomaly and went with an LMG that shoots claymores and has fortress or something like that, it's it'll work out pretty well. It won't be as strong as the shotgun build. It won't have as good synergy with the shield and healing that you get from close range kills, but it also gives you the options of doing long range kills. And the main downside I'd say is the lack of weapon leech, to be honest, because the legendary guns that that you would be typically using for an anomaly build, they don't really have weapon leech. Like I'm surprised they even found this gun to have weapon leech, to be honest, and it's an assault rifle. Back to the class. So you would build something like, you could go either way, life transfer or disturbance coding. I like disturbance coding better because I feel like life transfer, it doesn't even work with twisted rounds. If I were running pure anomaly, no twisted rounds, I was using temporal blade or something else, life transfer would be the one to go for. But I typically go with disturbance coatings. And then you have more concentration. You definitely want assault master, which makes each of these concentration nodes adds 3.5% damage to your assault weapons, and there's like 8 of them. So we definitely get all the concentration nodes. Then you want these two. You don't want cooldown. Maybe this is good if you're running pure anomaly and you want cooldown on your temporal blade. I don't. I like twisted rounds too much. I would never switch it off of twisted. Then I grab another disturbance coating. Obviously we go for full concentration, and then that's it. You've maxed out your concentration. So at this point in time, oh, I forgot one more thing. This, of course. Now the reason why you grab these is if you use your movement skill and your deception skill, right? One after the other, immediately, consecutively, basically, you have 100% additional anomaly power thanks to that. And if you pop twisted rounds, then your twisted rounds will reflect that increased anomaly power. So, just to demonstrate, all right, I have 118k. All right. Now I pop twisted rounds. I go check on it again. I have 144. Okay. So 144, that is without me beefing up my anomaly power by using other abilities. Now I'm going to get twisted to cool down. And then we're going to time rift, and I'll show you the difference. Right? It was 143 without time rift, without movement skill. And now time rift, I pop twisted, and it's 152. It's higher, right? That's because before I used twisted rounds, I was getting the bonus from using time rift, that 50% anomaly power increase. So now that you have a build like this, and you have a fundamental understanding of how it works with twisted rounds, right? You're gonna look at this and go, I don't need this because twisted rounds, or sorry, wrong one. I don't need this because twisted rounds, right? Same thing here. You don't really need it if you're using twisted rounds. So that's why I stopped my build there. And for a hybrid build, I go close range. I don't want reload speed. Armor piercing, weapon damage, sure. And then I can go crit or cooldown on movement. You could go either one, to be honest. We'll go crit for now. More close range damage. And then you grab these two. Why are these two? They're huge. They increase your weapon's own damage by 35% for 8 seconds for using movement and deception skills. So what that means is you've used your movement deception skill. You've popped your twisted rounds, so it's the benefit from it is as strong as it can be. And now, whenever you also use additional movement and deception skills, your weapon damage, this number right here, right in the middle, underneath the mods, 12,980, right? That gets boosted by 35% for 8 seconds for using mobility or deception. If you use them both consecutively, that's a 70% increase in that damage stat. So huge bonus, and it works great with twisted round, including the armor piercing, because I do not believe resistance piercing has anything to do with twisted rounds. And then for mods, you're looking at mods that do anomaly damage if you build this way. So that's a glitchy sound. So for example, on a weapon, right, I cannot recommend this enough. Claymore, by far the best anomaly build mod you can throw on there. The one downside to it is it doesn't do anything against certain bosses, which is unfortunate. and in that case, you're probably better off swapping it out for anomaly enhancement. There's no rule that says you can't have two of the same guns, the same legendary gun, and one has mods that are meant for regular enemies and one has mods that are meant for bosses. That's kind of how I built when I was using anomaly or hybrid builds. So yeah, you could have anomaly enhancement, for example. You could have dark sacrifice instead, or fortress instead. Fortress is actually a really good one. I run claymore combined with fortress, and then against a boss, I would rather run fortress combined with anomaly enhancement. So it's like I have a stronger twisted rounds, which is great. That's it for weapon. Oh my god, I had escaped way too fast. Okay, that's it for weapons. Right, pretty straightforward. There's a legendary um, LMG that comes with Claymore built in, and then you can just attach a fortress to it. Uh, what about... By default, it has anomaly on it, the anomaly enhancement. So you could get two of them, right? On the first one, replace anomaly enhancement with fortress. On the second one, replace claymore with dark sacrifice, and then it's a great boss killer. As for armor mods, right? We'll look at tier 3 and then we'll work our way down from there. So in tier 3, mods of interest on Trickster, all right? Time Rift, Pain Transfer is very, very good. It's huge. It will ridiculously increase your kill speed. However, it does favor shotgun builds a little bit more because shotgun you can like melt a single target so fast, and then that all that damage gets transferred to everybody. On an anomaly build, it does have a higher percent of transfer. It transfers 30% anomaly instead of 20%, which is good. I find it works really good with Claymore, so it does transfer Claymore to everybody else you rifted in the air. So that's one of interest. I also use and another one. The only reason I use this though is because of my shotgun build. So this is good for if you're firepower. All right. Oh, did I skip over firepower mods for weapons? Well, this is pretty much it. You're looking at it, right? Fortress, Dark Sacrifice, and Auto Shoddy. Um, Dark Sacrifice, improved vulnerability on Assault Rifle. This is for killing those birds that fly really high. You can't really hunt the prey behind them and stuff like that, so I switch over to this to get rid of them. And then this is just if you ran out of ammo for both of these. It's not really... It does what they both do, not as well as they do it, so... you could go whatever you really feel like for the sidearm slot. But for these two, you can have a regular enemy killer and the boss killer weapon. I went with Death Shield, and I use it on bosses or regular enemies, doesn't matter. The mods are good either way. And then this is just for the killing those far to reach enemies. Now back to armors. Alright, tier 3. Captain Hunter is really good. I used to use it. I don't use it right now because I needed the slot for something else. But once Worldslayer is out, you get 3 mod slots per armor. I'm definitely going to be running Captain Hunter at that point. It's a great filler mod, right? There's more important ones depending on how you built your Trickster. Like if you built your Trickster for close range, personal space is better than Captain Hunter. Straightforward. If you're building anomaly, you probably will have room for Captain Hunter in your build. Another one of interest would be, where are you? Unstoppable Force. If you're building anomaly, so let's go back to class tree, because what Unstoppable Force does is it converts half of your resistance piercing into a bonus modifier for your anomaly. So right now I have 20% resistance piercing, right? Now I could technically do this. So if I felt like not going hybrid and I felt like going more anomaly, but I wanted to keep twisted rounds, right? I don't have enough class points to get this, right? And this is huge because it increases your resistance piercing by 25% for 10 seconds. With cooldown equipment, you basically always have this benefit up. So if you do the math, 10, 20, and then another 25. That's 45% resistance piercing. So your claymore damage pierces 45% of the enemy's resistance. On top of that, with Unstoppable Force, you get 22.5% bonus anomaly power, which is like having a bit stronger than having 2 more concentration nodes. So it's pretty good for a pure anomaly build. As for how you'd get that, unfortunately that would mean you'd have to sacrifice one of these, or alternatively, you can scrap these ones that lead up to them, which I don't like doing, but you could do that and build up this way, right? You get the Withered Scything, Anomaly Persistence, and then you can still get these two really important ones by building up from here. Now back to our lovely mods. Alright, more armor mods. So back to tier 3. So that's Unstoppable in a nutshell. Circle of Power can be good if you really need the resistance. I feel like there's a tier 2 mod that does that's more useful. Sharp Eye is huge if you're going for shotgun builds. I might Purity, it's a hit or miss. I might end up using it once Worldslayer is out. It sounds pretty strong, right? Your bleed or poison or burning that's inflicted upon you, it only lasts 25% as long as it normally does. Kingslayer, not that good. It's a strong bonus. It really is strong. But as a shotgun user, because that only you'd be using a shotgun if you're going pure firepower like this. On a shotgun user, you're not going for crits all that much. So if you happen to get lucky and you get a crit off, yeah, it's great. It adds like 30% damage to your weapon damage, but it's I don't know. It seems too hit and miss, too inconsistent for my taste. Now we'll look at the actual skill mods, right? I told you about Pain Transfer, really good. I use and another one on the shotgun build because being able to shoot an elite endlessly that's floating up in the sky willy-nilly without a care for how my ammo is being consumed is amazing. Truly amazing. It lets me kill elites without even spending a bullet, pretty much. And I recover bullets back that I shoot. I use it combined with Ammo Bargain. So basically, once I start time rifting enemies and killing them with my shotgun, I'm not only am I able to keep my ammo, but if I was low on ammo, I'm actually getting my ammo back because the shots I do on them are free, and every time I kill them, I get 20% of my ammo back. Temporal mods aren't that good. Nobody uses them. Slow Trap replenishes ammo for allies' current weapon in the sphere range. That might be good. I haven't actually tested this or seen it used. It might actually be pretty viable. If you decide to not go for any movement skills at all, because what I use for ammo most of the time is this one right here, Instant Reload. I have it equipped already. Teleporting instant replenishes magazine to your current weapon. If you're not using this mod, then you probably don't really even need to be using Hunt the Prey. If you're playing with a shotgun, however, you should have Hunt the Prey. It's exactly what you need to close the distance, make sure you're doing close range damage, and it helps you hit them from behind, which the top tree is also all about hitting enemies from behind. So Hunt the Prey is perfect for that. It replenishes your ammo when you aren't able to get it back by killing weak enemies or time rifting heavier enemies up in the sky and killing them that way too. Hunt the Prey is pretty much your backup, or your I shouldn't say backup. It's like your main source of ammo regeneration. Um, Once you're actually low, that's when you want to use it, or when you want to close a lot of distance. As for the other ones, only Borrowed Time, Aggressive Teleportation strikes me as a good one. And actually, this is one of the best mods there are if you're running an anomaly build. Obviously, it's not ideal to run Hunt the Prey with it, so you'd be sacrificing Hunt the Prey to run to run Borrowed Time, but that damage that it says it does, that builds up. Like in a 200 million damage run, you're probably looking at doing somewhere between 10 and 20 million damage just with aggressive teleportation alone. Other mods like that like help you do a lot of damage every time you use a skill. Untamed Power, perfect example. 30% of your anomaly power is done as damage whenever you use a skill to anyone in your range. So now that we're back in tier 2 mods, Rejuvenation. This, in my opinion, is the best mod in the game for making you tankier, because it not only makes you tankier, it makes you do more damage, and it even gives you bonus anomaly power. Like, you can't go wrong with this mod. Am I even using it? I am. Yeah, I'm using it. Point in case, right? It's a really good mod. I would rather run it than Captain Hunter, for example, because Captain Hunter only works on elites. It boosts your damage by 25%. This thing, for 80% of the time, because it triggers, it's active for 8 seconds and has a 10-second cooldown. So 80% of the time, you're doing at least 10% more damage. You got at least 5% more anomaly power, something like that. And then you have almost double armor, basically, 80% of the time. It's an amazing mod. You just really can't go wrong with it. And next up we have, there's a really, really good mod. Oh, this is tier 3. No wonder I'm confused. There's a really good bleed mod that you can get on armor. This one right here, Vein Ripper. So when you inflict a status effect with your gun, it's typically because the mod you have on your gun is allowing you to do so. This is the only mod, I think, in the game that lets your weapon inflict a status effect without having the mod be on the actual weapon. The mod is on your armor. If you're running an anomaly build, this is huge, because it's free anomaly. Bleed damage is anomaly damage. It is free anomaly damage, a lot of it, passively. So it makes sense to actually run it on a Trickster. It also makes sense to run it on a Devastator, of course, because they're bleed based, but Anomaly Trickster would still greatly benefit from this. It should definitely show up on your damage stat as a pretty high number after an expedition run. I'm actually missing a tier 2. I didn't think I was. Okay, personal space. You're running a shotgun build. It's a must-have. Better than Captain Hunter, obviously. Um, Now you could go buckshot or dum-dum bullets, right? I personally don't use them because there are technically better mods. But let's say you don't have them unlocked yet and you have these ones unlocked. These ones would actually be a good choice to use as a somewhat like of a substitute. And then there's Bloodlust, another really, really good one. This one also firepower based, purely firepower based. I think that pretty much covers it for tier 2 mods, actually. Let's go to tier 1. Tier 1, we'll start with Time Rift. All right, you definitely want long range. If you're using um, share the pain, if you are anomaly, you always want a little bit of pain. It will not do as much damage as, say, aggressive teleportation. Aggressive teleportation should be a bit stronger, but it comes pretty damn close to beating it. A little bit of pain. And it will typically kill most of the small fry that you come across by itself. It is a dot damage. It does damage over time, over 6 seconds to be exact. So it's won't kill things immediately. They'll still be there in the way, basically blocking your shots if you're trying to shoot at something else behind them, which is unfortunate, but that's just how it works. A little bit of pain. Geiger's Wave is alright. I feel like it does get outclassed by, like, let's just say Rejuvenation, for example, or insert mod that improves anomaly power. Like this. This is actually a good one I forgot to bring up. So if you're building anomaly power, power assimilation, you get bonus anomaly for each elite present on the battlefield. So any skulls you see on the map, that will count, and alphas themselves always count as elites, even if they're not a skull icon. So it could be a whole lot more than just the skull icons you see, but like the skull icons are just it guarantees um, that they're elite. So that would be very strong. That's why I shy away from Geiger's Wave. Like, it's good, sure. It probably combos pretty well with a little bit of pain too, because I'm pretty sure a little bit of pain does 25% bonus damage thanks to Geiger's Wave. But in the face of mods like this, Power Simulation or Unstoppable Force or Rejuvenation, it just falls short of being decent. I'd say it's a good substitute. It's like Captain Hunter, right? You can run it. It'll do some justice. But maybe wait on running it all the time until Worldslayer is out. Then it'll probably be worth running all the time. Moving on. Nobody ever uses these temporal ones, to be honest. Or at least not the world record players. Slow Trap, on the other hand. Slow Trap. 100% shield when the skill ends. Interesting. Out of all of them, the Thunderdome might be the only one that gets any kind of use whatsoever. Then you have Cyclones. Again, not something that's commonly used. People just use it for fun. It's not that competitive. Doesn't really help carry. And same with Venator's Knife. Venator's Knife is an amazing skill, by the way. Compared to Temporal Blade or Cyclone, this definitely gets used a lot. Oh boy. But the mods it has available for it do not get used a lot. And there's a good reason for that. None of those mods are actually that good. Like Anomaly Cut, for example. That damage is not even that high. Right? Does it actually I should compare it to other tier 1 mods. Does it compare to a little bit of pain? No, a little bit of pain does more than 5 times as much damage. Increases the skill damage by 20,000. Again, incredibly weak, just totally underwhelming. I'd even rate Temporal Blade skills higher than it. Yeah, increase the skill damage by 96,000. Yeah, this is totally better than that. Moving on. Hunt the Prey. You don't really need any of these. Vulnerable might be okay if you don't have better options. I used to use Decrease the Skills cooldown. That was pretty helpful until I got good equipment that lowers my cooldown as a bonus stat. And then I could stop using this and replace it with some damage mods. Additional mag is something you'll rely on a lot before you unlock the better tier 3 mods. Twisted rounds increases the weapon's firepower. Now this it's a bit of hit and miss because it's actually good. For example, it's better than Dum Dum rounds. It's better than Buckshot rounds, and those are tier 2 mods. It's better than them only in the situation that you're going a firepower build. The more anomaly power you have, and the weaker your gun is in terms of firepower in general, the less strong twist becomes. So on an anomaly build, this is a bad idea. On a firepower build, I mean, personal space and Captain Hunter are clearly better. Even rejuvenation is better, but it does add a decent chunk of damage, which makes it better than those mods that give you just a 10% damage bonus. Unless you're anomaly. Anomaly, it doesn't even do that good. It like adds 6% damage or something. Weapon leech. This is a must-have for hybrid and anomaly builds that use twisted rounds. Must-have, because you likely don't have a weapon that has life leech, so you want blue blood. 35% resistance piercing bonus. This goes along with unstoppable force, right? So if you remember, building how I built it, you would have 45% armor piercing, or resistance piercing, sorry. You'd have 45% resistance piercing. By having that twisted round mod, you would have, in addition to that, another 30%, increasing it to 75% resistance piercing, and that totals to 37.5% bonus anomaly power total. So you almost get 40% bonus anomaly power just from this unstoppable force mod when you combine it with, what was it, this one? Yeah, anomalic caliber. 30% critical damage bonus. This can be good if you run it on a sniper or pump action shotgun. Those are the only two scenarios where you'd be like, Twisted Fate, yeah, let's get this on my armor. Auto shotgun, it makes no sense. You're not going for critical hits. Machine gun, assault rifles. Like assault rifles, you can maybe get away with using it because assault rifles do some decent critical hit damage. But LMG, hell no. The weapon doesn't even have that much of a high of a damage stat to begin with. So going for crits, probably not worth it. You're kind of counting more on Fortress and Claymore or other tier 3 anomaly damage mods to carry your weapon, as opposed to having the actual damage on it give you any benefit. And last, we have Borrowed Time, tier 1s. Honestly, other than the cooldown one, yeah, none of them are good other than the cooldown one, to be honest. Cooldown one makes it so that you can at least guarantee to do it every 10 seconds. A must-have until you have gear, like the boots I have right now, which have boom 7.5 cooldown reduction, right? So if you have a full set 5 equipment that has this amazing bonus on it, you're looking at 37.5 cooldown reduction natively on all your skills, which makes this unnecessary. And yeah, that's it for mods. That's it for building Trickster. I hope it helped. Thanks again for stopping by. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you internet degenerates in the next one.